Go! More! More! Woo-hoo-hoo! Ew! Oh. Here we are again. What's up, YouTube? Hey, I'm back. New car. As you guys can see, new interior here. Just going to get right down to it. 2019 RS5 Sportback. So, I got a 2018 Panamera Turbo less than a year ago, so you're asking yourself, A, why am I in an Audi again? What happened to the Porsche? There's a story for that, and I'm going to tell you about it. So, bought the Porsche. The link will be in the description below. Well, let me back up a little bit. 2016 S7. A lot of you guys have seen that video, or people have seen it. Loved it. Audi S7, Sea-Ping Blue. Amazing car. And that's when I first kind of just shot my first video, just, just kind of farting around. Had that car for a couple years, really stepped up because the S7 was like my first really, really nice car. And then I stepped up and got the Panamera about a year ago, maybe a little less than a year ago. I flew to Chicago to get it. I mean, the car was awesome. I got to say, I mean, for such a big car, it handled so good. I really, really like that car. Unfortunately, I was involved in an accident. So if you're here for the RS5 review, just skip through a couple minutes and I'll get to that. But I think there's some important information. There's man, I've been driving cars for a long time and I've been in some accidents, but this was different in the sense that I've learned a lot through this process. So I figure I might as well share it with you guys. So I'm at a light, light's red. I have my buddy in the car, light turns green. It's about 9:45 at night. I pull out in the intersection, bang. And I didn't even see it coming because I was turning this way. And so this old lady ran a red light. And I mean, it was scary. It's just like that commercial. I think it's, what kind of commercial is it? Anyways, nonetheless, it's like a State Farm commercial or some insurance commercial, I think, no, it's a VW commercial where they're just driving and the family just gets hit out of nowhere. That's what happened to me. And my buddy was okay. The Panamera held up amazingly. Like the lights did like this sequence, this flash sequence, and then the hazards came on automatically. And I get out, I check my buddy. I'm like, hey, are you all right? He's all right. I go check on the lady. She seems to be all right. And she's like, I can't believe I ran the red light. Thank God I had a witness that stopped so let me just go through this real quick. She's all freaked out. I say, listen, we got insurance. It's all good. Don't worry about it. Well, hold on a second. Because, I think she was worried about losing her license. Car gets towed away. Pretty bad side impact, but, not as bad as you would think. And clearly her fault. The police didn't want to do a police report, which is totally bush league. I said, listen, you got to do a police report. He's like, nope, unless somebody goes to jail or goes away in an ambulance, we don't do a police report. So didn't get a police report, but got the witness's info. Big tip. If you're in an accident and there's somebody that stops, get their information. Also, I will be having a dash cam moving forward too. So anyways, fast forward a couple days. This was on a Saturday. Comes to find out this lady starts lying and said I ran the red light, right? So I got to deal with that. I do everything on my side, but I do on the record conversation with her, your insurance, all this stuff. I got nothing to hide. The light turned green, I pull out, she hits me, cut and dry. Here's where it gets interesting though. I'm starting to freak out. If my car's not totaled, this freaking expensive car, how can I do, is there a diminished value claim, all this kind of stuff that I had no experience with. The best thing I can do, or the best thing that that I can give you guys as advice is I called my guy at Porsche and I said, listen, I was involved in an accident. I want to go to the best shop possible. And what he did was he gave me this information for this body shop that's Porsche certified. He said they kind of take a long time and they're expensive, but they're the best. That was the best information that I got. That's the best thing that I can share with you. Don't go to your insurance companies. Don't do any of that stuff. Go call your person, whether it's Audi or whoever you trust, a high-end shop that is certified to work on your cars. That's what saved my butt in this. Fast forward, they start tearing the car down. This bill for the Panamera went to $70,000. And it was a disaster. And I'm thinking, I don't want this car back. Come to find out, this woman, she had this old lady had like the worst insurance ever. So in California and I believe Florida, I don't know why, there's these really low coverage limits that people can have. This woman had like 15, 20,000. So I'm thinking, man, if they fix my car, I'm gonna have a car with this diminished value, which is horrible, a Carfax. I can't go after any diminished value, and it's gonna take 5 months. That's what they were quoting me, because parts have to come from Germany, headliner, all this crazy stuff. I stressed out about it. It was this whole thing. It took 6 weeks, but finally State Farm came back, and I was pushing for a total, and they had to run it up the chain because of how much of the damage and how much the car was worth, but it ended up working out great, right? So they cashed me out. The value they gave me was great. All that worked out. So then it comes to this. How am I in an RS5? You go from this ballin' ass Panamera to RS5, which is still a nice car, and I really, really like it. I'm going to do a review on it. But here's my thing. I wanted to get my next car after the Panamera was a Porsche Taycan or the 2020 RS7. Those aren't out yet. I need a car now. So I'm like, I see some pretty good discounts going on with the Sportback. It looks like it's fun to drive. And I got a beat on this one, kind of close to me in this exclusive color. And let me just go drive it and see. So I'm like, I need a car in the meantime, and so I settled on this. I drove the M5. My buddy works right here at Encinitas BMW. I wanted to like the M5. I just didn't. It was like, I don't know, it did everything so well. It was just boring, and it's 600 something horsepower. I wanted to like it. I could have got an M5 for an amazing deal because they're getting rid of the 19s as 20s were coming in. But I don't like the infotainment as much as Audi. I don't know. I wanted to like it. I didn't. I was going to get it in a special color for BMW as well. Anyways, settle on the RS5. So let's go to that. What I'm going to do in this video, gosh, I'm already 7 minutes in with this story. So I apologize. But hey, I figure you guys should know, and this insurance thing, it saved my butt that my Porsche guy got me to this body shop. Because no other body shop would have had a repair bill at 72 grand. Let me tell you that. So what I'm going to do, though, getting back to this car, right now I'm going to talk about my likes and dislikes of having the car for however long. And I apologize, but I have some notes. I've just been kind of, as I've been cruising the last few weeks, taking notes on little things here and there that I like and don't like. And for the most part, here's just a quick review. The car is awesome. It is super fun to drive, super sporty. My last car, the S7 Panamera, big old cars. This is a lot more kind of like point and shoot, sporty, fun car. So I do enjoy that. I do. So it's not as baller, but it's just a funner, smaller car. So I have some notes, and I'm just going to go through all the things that I like and don't like. I'm going to walk around the car, show you this color. It's amazing. Talk about the mods that I'm going to do, because I feel like, remember in Fast and Furious, we were like 10,000 parts, 10,000 in parts from overnight parts from Japan. Obviously not parts from Japan, but big shout out to Tag Motorsports. I got some 3-piece wheels coming. I have the ABT height adjustable springs coming. I have, what else do I got coming? I have some cooling options, and I have the JB4 piggyback. So get ready, because this thing is going to look sick real soon. But I want to get a video out before, just kind of in the stock form. So let's just kind of go through it. So dislikes. Storage is a joke. I feel like Audis are getting smaller and smaller. It's like there's no room here. I mean, you can see I got all this, like some candy, a couple glasses, a checkbook, and gum, and that's cool. But it's crazy. There's just not that much room. So storage is an issue. Again, here we go. No cooled seat option, which it's like, come on, guys. I don't get it. It's like not hard to put cooled seats in this honeycomb pattern. Now, I will say Audi's been listening, because if you looked at the new RS6 release, they have these seats, well, sport seats with the honeycomb pattern, and they're heated and cooled. So they're finally listening. Just didn't get it in here. So, you know, it just gets kind of hot sometimes during summer. I miss that. Okay, price. Price. This is an expensive car. My S7 was pretty loaded at 94,000. I remember this is a 2016. I bought it brand new, and it just didn't have Bang & Olufsen and night vision. Those two things, pretty loaded. So now this car, before this credit that they had, was like, you know, $97,000 for, you know, and keep in mind my S7 had air suspension, power closed doors, you know, all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of like, I think, so they're asking a lot for this. And, you know, as a result, they haven't been selling. Not only are they asking a lot for the RS5, but their incentives are garbage. Like I said, I could lease an M5 at $130,000 for the same as this car. I mean, maybe not the same, but close. So their money factors are crazy high on RS cars. They always have been. And the residuals are so low. So that's why they're sitting, and that's why I kind of settled on this car, because I'm like, shoot, I could buy it. I was able to negotiate a 13% discount, which was great. I've never gotten that good of a deal on an Audi. The Q7 we ordered, I got 6%. I thought it was fair, and the same thing on my S7. I had to go back to that dealership like 3 or 4 times. So, you know, the price was a dislike, but I think it kind of turns into like because of the deal that I got on it. I will say lack of a couple of some of the features, like my Porsche had the Alcantara headliner. It does have these inserts here. But I just, for some reason, that makes a car feel more special, you know, with the Alcantara, things. The power closed doors I kind of miss. And look, the Panamera is double the price. So of course it's going to have those things, but I do miss the power closed doors, the Alcantara, some of those special, the cooled seats, some of those things I not gave up, but that this just car, you know, you can't even get. I do kind of miss those premium options. And wish they were available on a car like this. I will say one of my main gripes, and when I can turn the screen around, but like the interiors are a very, very nice place to be. But don't get me wrong, this virtual cockpit is amazing, and it's all done right. And you can configure it however you want. But this screen here is kind of just like a little afterthought. I don't know if it's just like this bezel here and it's a little thicker. It just kind of looks like it's like plopped there. But other than that, this is an amazing place to be. Very, very comfortable. This screen looks a little dated. It looks, you know, compared to like the new tech that's happening inside the Audis, it just feels a little dated. The seating position, I don't think anybody that hasn't driven a Porsche will even realize this. But my Porsche seating position, I feel like my head was like back down here. It was so low, which took a day to get used to, but then I loved it. It felt so sporty. And this is just the lowest I can get so it's taken me a little while to get used to. I feel like I'm sitting so high, but I think that's just a Porsche thing where they can allow the seating position to get so low, which I personally loved. And it's taken me some time to kind of get used to it here. Okay. And then going to the engine, it's a like and a dislike, but here's what I don't like about it. I feel like the cooling is lackluster on this car, and I think it's kind of undercooled. And let me explain. Like, I could punch this thing when my temp is, you know, right when it kind of gets to operating temp, and it feels super strong. Couple pulls, it's like, wow, this thing feels good. But a couple back-to-back pulls, I feel like the IATs, the intake air temps, really affect this thing, and it just doesn't feel as fast. So I think, you know, there is apt or ABT. I think they actually call it apt. They have a cooler upgrade, which I think would really help. But I think this thing just kind of lacks on that side. So I think though, pushing this car, you're going to really feel the performance struggle, but when it's fresh and it's ready to go, man, it pulls really good, and it's super fun to drive. I don't want to like just hit you guys with all these negatives. These are nitpicky things, and I always do this, but this is after driving it for a little while. I just want to kind of throw it out there. This is what I see. This is, you know, how I see it. So now let's get into the things that I like. Overall styling, love it. The front looks so mean. My buddy was like, told me when I was behind him the other day, he's like, dude, the front looks so awesome, you know, without the plate there, and that Quattro script looks so good. And I agree with him. I love the front view, I love the rear view, and I like this car from a lot of different angles. So the overall styling, they nailed it. I think the Sportback and the Coupe for that matter look really, really good. Color, I realized when I had the Panamera, I did it right. It was white and black wheels, yellow calipers, everything matched, looked awesome. But I just missed having a special color. With my Audi, the S7, it was in Sea-Pang blue, and I loved that color. So this one being Nogaro blue, it's like that was not a childhood thing, but me and my buddies, we used to go to these illegal races back in the day. There was like right after I got out of high school in like the year 2000. And some random guy had a B5 S4 in Nogaro blue. They offered it Nogaro blue S4 that year. And that was like our dream car. That car had what, I don't know, 250 horsepower, all-wheel drive. But back then, that was like amazing. So ever since that, the B5 S4 came out in Nogaro blue, I've always had a special place in my heart for this color. And then when I saw Audi South Coast had this car sitting up there in their showroom for months, and I was able to get the discount that I got, I had to jump all over it. And it just feels, I just like having a color. Some people are black and white car people. I was like that for years, but I love having a color like this. And I'm going to do a walk around and show you, and the color just pops, and I love it. But the thing too with the color, or I'll say, is that we've had all these Santa Ana winds. I just washed my car and it's already dirty, but bear with me. You're going to see this car on YouTube more anyways. Let's see, the transmission, and the engine. I will say the engine, I mean, it's very little, besides what I talked about before, there isn't that much lag. I like it. It's got torque. I think it's 444 and, you know, the same amount of torque. And I know people hate on the paddles, and yeah, they could be metal like the Porsche, but dude, they're pretty, they don't bother me as much as any other journalist is like, oh, the paddles, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I would like them to be metal, but it's not a huge deal for me. They function totally fine. I will say this is the best ZF transmission because it's not a dual clutch like I'm used to in my last couple cars. It's lightning fast. Bang, bang, bang. Upshift, downshift. And I think when you drive this car in manual mode, it is so fun. And I can't wait till my intake gets here. I forgot to say that AWE intake is coming. It's going to sound so good. It needs to be lowered with the wheels. ECU tune. This thing is going to be dope. But as it is, it's already fun. So, okay, what else do I like? Technology. I will say I'm just an Audi technology guy. It all just works. I love that I can have Apple CarPlay, right? I can hook my thing in. it has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I have an Android, and it just works good. I can use my Google Maps. I won't have to use the Audi Connect scam, the however much a month, because I can use that 3D view or that Google Earth view through my phone, and it will come up on the maps, right? So I have that. I just like how the technology's laid out. I'm used to it. My wife has a Q7. I just didn't like the BMW iDrive. Maybe it's just me. I just like it. This screen feels a little dated, but the virtual cockpit is insane, and everything just works. It just freaking works. Another thing that I like, this car's mod friendly. We already have some things coming out, and it seems like tuners they just cracked the ECU. There's going to be, there's already suspension, options, wheel options. Of course, there's going to be wheel options. I just felt like with my Panamera, it was such a low volume car that people didn't make stuff for it. I tried to find an intake for it for years, and it's just low volume where people just don't make stuff, and it's just not as fun. being on the forums, I miss being on Audizine and Audi World. Like Porsche Panamera forums are just boring. There's just like not much discussion. I think because it's just lower volume of cars, and maybe people driving those cars don't really go on forums or mod their cars. It's a combination probably of both, but I just like, it's just nice being back in an Audi and knowing I'm going to get my wheels and suspension and all that kind of stuff. Discounts on the car, I will say, if you're in the market for an RS5, now is the time. There's still tons of inventory left, and of 2019s, and I got 13% discount off a sticker. This isn't with the, you know, any other loyalties. This is like off MSRP, 13%. I was looking at used ones. I'm like, well, maybe a used one, but I wanted that special color. I'm like, people are asking more for used ones, and I can get a brand new one. Maybe not more, but very similar. And for me, I'm like, hey, I'd rather have a new car. It's always not the smart decision, but I like knowing if there's a scratch that I did it, or if something feels funky, I did that. I felt when the Panamera, when I checked it out in Chicago, all checked out, but there was a couple things that I noticed that I didn't notice when I bought it that were like, kind of bothered me. So the discounts, if you guys shoot me a message, if you're in the market, I'll send you my guy at Audi South Coast. This guy's amazing. Work the deal, have it done, whatever. And I have some other contacts too. What else? Oh, I hear people saying they don't like the exhaust and that it's under, that they wish it was louder. For me, it's perfect. It gurgles perfectly. It's just fun. Like when you downshift, it's got a nice gurgle. I like the exhaust. I think it's perfect as it is. Once you couple that with the intake, it's gonna sound mean. I like the exhaust. I've heard a lot of people say it's too tame. I disagree. I think it's perfect. So that kind of covers everything. I will say I didn't make it note it down. The interior is just a great place to be, like I mentioned. Here's what I like too. There's no gloss black. I love it. Like my Panamera had these panels everywhere. Everything was gloss black, the buttons, everything. And there's really no gloss black here anywhere. They have this nice like matte gray thing here with the carbon fiber. It's just a nice place to be. It's simpler than what I'm used to, but it's nice. Last thing before we do a walk around, I want to do this real quick. I want to go through like the perfect spec. For me, the perfect spec on this car is going to be a $92,000 sticker. That includes a $4,000 Audi exclusive color. So if you don't need an Audi exclusive, subtract $4,000 from that. But this is just my opinion. You guys, you know, but this, so Audi exclusive $4,000, black optic carbon. For me, it's a must-have. I was thinking early on, maybe I could save some money on it. But if you have a contrasting color, dude, it looks amazing. Don't pass up on the carbon. Walking up to your car and see the mirror caps and the carbon up front and back and the diffuser. I will say it's kind of hard to tell the diffuser's all carbon because of the angle of the bottom part. Until you see it in person, you won't understand what I'm saying, but it looks like just the top and the rear is carbon. It's actually all carbon diffuser, but the angle makes it look like it's black. But nonetheless, you know, that's $5,500, but you're paying $1,500 for the black optic, so it's really $4,000. That's a value with all the carbon. You got to do the black optic carbon. Driver assistance, $3,700. I don't always use the cruise control, but it's nice to have. I like having the 360 degree view. That's a must for me. So you got to get the driver assistance package. Dynamic package, that's a suspension with the 3 different modes of dynamic suspension, red caliber, and sport exhaust. You're getting an RS5, you got to get the dynamic package. Fine leather package, I will say it's nice. It's soft, supple leather. I don't like Alcantara seating surfaces, so you got to spring for the $1,500 on that for sure. Black Audi rings, $300, and actually not just rings, but they do the badging as well. I've always painted mine, and it's a pain in the ass to do right, and it costs more than that. So that's a value at $300. The Bang & Olufsen, $950. I've never seen one equipped without it. I mean, you got to get it, but to be honest, it sucks. Bang & Olufsen sucks. That goes into my dislikes. I don't think I said it. I forgot, but it's like the bass is horrible. It's like a 6-inch sub back there, a total joke. I'm gonna upgrade it, and I think I can take some of the lows out of all these speakers and make it sound really good. So look for the video on that. But for $950, you get it, but it's a joke. It doesn't sound that good. My wife's Bose which I'm not a fan of, and the Q7 sounds way better than this. Here's things you can get rid of. Dynamic steering, whatever, save the money on that. If it was all-wheel steering, that's a different topic, because that, you know, turns the wheels at low speeds in different directions. This just changes the input. I had it on my S7, don't have it here. I don't even tell the difference. Save the money there. Dynamic plus pack, dude, who's gonna go 174 miles an hour? Carbon fiber engine bay cover, whatever, dude. I mean, yeah, it looks cool, but, and then carbon ceramic brakes only in the front. Yeah, but is it worth that money? Not for me. You can stiff on that. And then the other thing, the only thing, this had the $2,500 option of the milled wheels. I will say they look better in person. Not a fan though. My perfect spec would have been this car minus the $2,500 for those milled wheels. I like those flag ones better that come with the black optic carbon pack, or the black optic package. I just don't like these wheels. They don't match the car at all. They need to have some type of dark feel to it. They're too fat. I don't know, just not a fan, but I would drop those as well. So that's my perfect spec. I think you can drop those things, but those are things that you have to have. Obviously, everybody's budget's different. So I covered a lot. Shoot me a message if you have a question on all that. Let's get outside the car, walk around, and then we'll go on a drive. But I can see this video is already, I got a lot to cover. So here she is. Guys, look at the color. I hope it captures it on film, but on video. And I got some sun on it, and it's dirty. I'm sorry. I keep this thing so clean, but it's been like super Santa Ana, so it's all, I just cleaned it and there's just like dirt and everything all over the place. But this color is so, I just love it. You guys can see the carbon here with these mirrors. This piece down here looks really sweet on this car. I mean, it's just a good look. So let's just, and I like how the black optic carbon package, you get this all black. Here's the wheels though. They're just, this part's milled so they look better in like person, but they're just not a good look. And look how high this is. This needs to go down. But once those new wheels go there, it gets lowered. And then here's one of my favorite looks. Look at how mean this grill is. And I think the sun's gonna kind of mess this up a little bit. But to have these black rings, stock is pretty cool. Quattro script, I love. They put a front plate on it, bummed me out. But I got two little holes here. It's different because in the S7 and the RS7 grill, these were like little spacers that you could buy, a piece of the plastic to cover that up. A little bit of a bust, but so you see the carbon all through here. You have your radar sensors here for your cruise control. It'd be cool if this was carbon. Maybe that would be too much. The headlight design I'm a fan of. Looks awesome. So overall, front end looks great. Wheels, those are getting changed out. Suspension getting changed out. Tinted the windows, did 15% all around. Here's that rear view. Maybe you can get a nice look of the, yeah, there we go. So black rings, black RS5. I just, the back end just looks awesome. These huge exhaust pipes. That's an RS thing, you know you got something special. So what I was saying though is, so this is all carbon and then this is black. But this is all carbon here too. But with the black here, it's actually hard to see that it's carbon at most angles. Not a big deal, it's just throwing it out there. But the back, beautiful. I think it looks great in this color, guys. I think with the proper wheels, it's gonna look so good. And I can't give away too much information, but I'll tell you this. I'm getting wheels, 3-piece, forged, to match this. Black wheels are a little played out. I had them, my wife's car has them, I had them on the Porsche, and I want something to match the carbon. So something kind of black, gray. So that's the idea there. Can't give it away, but that's what we're gonna do on the wheels, and they're gonna look awesome. I was considering the 21-inch wheel, but talked to my guy at Tag. He's like, dude, you'd have to import. We have the app 21-inch wheels on our shop car, but every time we change tires, we gotta we gotta get tires from Europe. So that ain't gonna work, and I don't want to be on 25 series tires. So and you also have the carbon here. I will say one thing I miss on this, guys, is my last two cars had a spoiler that came up. The Panamera was crazy, came up and out, and the Audi was like this, and the old RS5 actually had a spoiler. I miss that, and just having that little special spoiler. So, but here's just a quick walk around of the car. Trust me, it's going to look a lot better very, very soon, because my wheels are almost in. So quick walk around. Let's go on a drive and wrap this video up. Drive and see what this bad boy's got. Full disclosure, some time has gone on since I walked around the car, and I actually have different wheels on the car, which are sick. I'm not going to show them to you. I'll just tell you they're forged and they're 3-piece. Suspensions also on the car, and JB4. So, and I'm running ethanol right now on map 3. So, but for this video, since it's just the car stock form, I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna change it back to stock. Let's see, map. Let's go map 0. Okay, so now we're stock. All right. So overall, I really like the car. I will say this: I think Audi overshot the mark on this thing price-wise. To think that my S7 was pretty much the same price point a couple years ago, and they're not really selling that many of these now. I got it for like 13+% discount. That makes it a little more attractive. So I think they were too ambitious, and they probably sell a lot more S5s than RS5s. However, I do really like the car. It's a nice place to spend some time, and I think I've really enjoyed it. I will say I do miss air suspension. My last car was a Panamera Turbo. Before that, S7. I do miss it. I like how this is more point and shoot, and you know, it's more of a, if you will, driver's car instead of this big old boat. But the air suspension was so nice over bumps. It was so nice over, you know, any imperfections in the road, and you definitely feel more in a car like this. So I do miss that. And I do miss a V8, but as you guys can tell, this thing rips. That's map 0 right now. The thing pulls really well. It's a great car. Some of the other things that I miss, power closed doors. These are high-end problems. I totally get it. I'm just telling you, you know, what I feel about it. And I feel that this interior is actually a really good place to spend some time. All the materials are top-notch, except this. I hate this. It's so cheap looking, I think because how thick it is, and this little bezel right here, it just cheapens the look overall to me. It's like they tacked it on. And I'm not against the screen here, just for the record, like a lot of people are. I just think it looks so cheap compared to how the rest of the how the rest of the car looks. But guys, this thing pulls, and dude, with no maps, like just on map 0, because I've been running, you know, with some extra horsepower. This thing freaking pulls. This thing pulls really good. I like this 2.9. I think people are, you know, they don't love it, and I don't love it going in the S6 and S7, but for this car, it's a great engine. This is the same engine that's in the Panamera 4S, the Sport Turismo 4S, you know, and it was co-designed or engineered with Porsche, and this thing rips. It really does. I will say I'm happy with this engine for this car. So let's get back to the house. Let me give you my final thoughts. And I don't know if I should give you guys a little teaser of the wheels. I can't show the whole thing. I just can't do that. But I'll make a decision. Maybe I tease something. And all right. So in closing, I always talk way too long. Just want to wrap up what my final thoughts of the car. I actually love it. It gets good attention. You do not see it on the road really at all. You never see it RS5, especially with the Nogaro blue. It really pops. Handling's pretty good, except for that suspension and dynamic. I'm not a fan of that, but you can use auto mode. Engine, transmission, love it. It's got plenty of power, pulls really well. Transmission is super responsive. I've seen the forums where the S5 guys, it has that problem like my S7 had, where it's always just upshifting, even in, sport transmission mode. So in the RS5, I'm happy to report it is very nice. Couple things I miss. So it's not a knock on this car. It's just my experience, right? I miss the power closed doors. I miss the Alcantara headliner. I miss the air suspension. That's probably the most. But again, no car in this class really has that anyways. But I'm just saying from the cars that I've been driving, those things I do miss. I'll say the Bang & Olufsen is an absolute joke. They shouldn't even have their name on this. It sounds terrible. The subs and this little plastic thing back there, not a fan at all. I like having a third seat back here though. That's quite nice. But overall, the car is awesome. Price though, it's too expensive. They overshot the mark in my opinion. But now with where the discounts are, I think it's a better buy. But still, it's priced pretty high for what it is, and I'm not taking it away from the car. I still think it's a fantastic car, but let's not forget this car was like $94,000, but before, when it was originally on the lot, it was $97,000, and then Audi came out and gave this ambiguous a special equipment discount. So they changed the sticker and discounted like $3,000. They knew already months ago that they priced it too high. They're still sitting. In my mind, this car should have been $10,000 less, and at least. And you have a lot of buyers that are like, okay, the S5 has a bi-turbo 3.0. This has a 2.9 liter twin turbo. So for 100 extra horsepower, I'm paying 20, 25, whatever, however many thousand extra. So price, I think, is why these things aren't as popular as they should be, because it's a fantastic car. I absolutely love it, and I cannot wait till you guys see how this thing looks in the daylight with all the mods running E85, because it's already there. I just am way behind with all the kid stuff, but the next video I'm going to show everything: the wheels, the intake, and the JB4, and we're going to go on a ride, do some launch controls like that. But overall, the wheels set this thing up. So if you want more content, you know where to find me. A new video is going to come soon because all the mods are already on the car. So till next time.